Welcome back to View from My Window. Now, before I get into how I'm going to break down the next couple episodes, because the next couple episodes, I'm still going to focus on the Wilson women OGs, but I'm going to gradually start going down and celebrating the Monopoly girls. I'm from Riri to Tahira, to Dia, to Ray Ray, all the way down to Wantia, to Kima, to Minnie and Fatty. I'm going to get into all stories that I have, but I wanted to correct something. I couldn't believe that I'd missed this when I was giving a big up to Miss Barbara, who I said Miss Laura. I was thinking of Laura, her daughter, but if it wasn't for Miss Barbara, it would not be none of all this drill team stuff you seeing out South Philly and all over the city and the Soul Survivors. Wasn't for Miss Barbara, it would be none of that. I still stand on she should have her own sign and one of the signs named after her when it comes to that. Big shout out to Kendall, Butter, and Laura. Also, I couldn't believe that I didn't say Miss Val's name instead of saying Miss Cook. I couldn't believe that I had a senior moment when I was doing that. Shout out to Ebony, Bambi, Heather, and Rodney, like a second family. My father was cool with their father, their mother. I'm gonna tell some stories with Rodney and some funny stories about Ebony and Bambi and Heather in further episodes. But this episode is about three women who not only used to the head of their families, the match of their families, but also kept us in check and kept their kids in check and kept their family in check when things went wrong, and they were positive growing up, and a lot of things that could have done, they didn't let it go that way. The first is Miss Swinton. If you guys are familiar with Eitting Terrace on the side, the breezeway, you knew Miss Swinton had the candy store. You knew her grandson Melly and his family. So if you was on Taney Terrace, 26th Street, Eitting Terrace, Jackson Street, you went to Miss Swinton and got the candy. She used to have the little water ice cups she used to make on her own. And at this time, I used to hang with Cornell and Aaron, and PJ and them was doing their thing. They was a little bit older than us, but we used to hang around, and after we would do our stupid stuff, go play wrestling and walk to 7-Eleven and go to Mickey D's. We would come around, take money, and go to Miss Swinton's. So we used to hang on Eitting Terrace. And Miss Swinton, that candy store, was fun because not only we didn't have to go to the Chinese store, go to the Kim's all the time. When she was open, she was open. We were getting the penny candy. You can go to Miss Swinton with 50 pennies and get a whole bunch of penny candy. Miss Swinton made her own water ices. She was the only place you can go and get the Kool-Aid. And they wasn't like water ices. I would call them like slushies or what have you. But Miss Swinton had that locked. Big shout out to Miss Swinton. She helped a lot of poor kids growing up that only had $2 or $3 to get a whole bunch of penny candy and be able to eat. Next, I gotta talk about Miss Scenny. Big shout out to Rashawn and the twins. Miss Scenny was very, very, to me, she was always nice, but she always ragged on me a lot. But she had reason. Growing up, my cousin Leah and Sophia used to fight all the time, but she used to fight the twins all the time. And I remember my cousin Nash, he wouldn't let them fight Leah fair. So if they were fighting her and they both got in the mix, he would jump in it. And then Rashawn would call his little badass young boy jumping in on fights all the time. And Miss Scenny did not like when people would come back and tell them the kids fighting all the time. And she definitely used to stay on them, especially when it came to Rashawn. At times I would walk around, I would leave out my crib. If Corner was doing something, I'd go kick it with Moki Doo-Doo, which I'm gonna kick it with him. I would kick it with Rock. And when I first started going to the gallery, Rock used to tell me he used to go down to like dances and fevers, and this is around the time Foreman's was popping at that time. And he was like, "Yo, we going downtown." We go downtown, and I remember he told me to get these striped gold, white, red, different color striped jean shorts. And he was like, man, he talked me into it. He was like, man, this is the style. This is popping right now. I remember getting the shorts, coming back out of Wilson 2 days before Easter, because we had got these Sergio Schettini black. And I wore these shorts the 2 days before Easter when I used to celebrate those stuff like that. And I remember sitting on the pole outside of, sitting on the pole, and Miss Scenny came out, and I was wondering why she was drinking a beer and looking at me, and I'm like, why Miss Scenny keep looking at him like that? She bust out and laughing and said, hey, come here, why are you wearing them girl shorts? I was like, these ain't girl shorts. I tried them on the mirror. That's what it is. And she said, I said, who let you get them? I said, Rock was with me. She was like, she bust out like, boy, if you don't get your ass and I'll take them girl shorts off. And she had the whole pole of girls out there that were laughing at me. They laughed me back, the teeny terrors. I was so mad at Rock for that. He laughing because he thought he was a jokester. He knew those jean shorts wasn't unisex. And that was crazy to me. And I never forget that. Every time she see me, she would speak, but she would laugh and she would chuckle because she would always remind me about the time I was wearing those girl shorts that I thought was unisex. I don't know what my problem was at that time when I let Rock talk me into getting those from Former Mills, you know. But that's why I'm staying on Eitting Terrace. I used to be outside. Me and rowdi, we used to always bust on each other all the time. And I remember doing my interactions with Rock and my interactions with Monkey Doo-Doo, I would be in front of their door because Corey and Steph and them lived next door to him. But I used to be loud outside. And Mrs.Delores, if you guys don't know Mrs.Delores, you know Tasha, you know Val, you know rowdi, you know Willie Lamb. Y'all know, and they know she didn't play. She was the match of the family. And she wasn't, when it came to late 10, 11 o'clock at night noise outside the house, she didn't play that. So, you know, one night I'm out there chilling. rowdi, he come up, he busting. Always bust back. I used to call rowdi Ram Man. rowdi called me a bunch of other stuff, but I used to always get him with the He-Man, Ram Man thing. So one night, I believe, I don't think it was Tasha, I think it was Val. She might have was coming in late, and I was outside. Man, she thought Mrs.Delores was asleep. She trying to come creeping in late at night. Mrs.Delores lit the whole block up because she was trying to come in and sneak in late. But see, at that point, she should have known, because I got plenty of you know, being loud on the porch and Mrs.Delores telling me, be quiet, making all that goddamn noise on my porch. Because rowdi used to do that. Me and rowdi used to go do the dozens, and it would be late. And he would do the dozens with me and then walk back around Deli Terrace like ain't nothing happened. But his mother, Mrs.Delores, she looked out for me. I used to be outside late, and I was young. I was young trying to be outside 11, 12 o'clock at night. She knew my aunt, and she knew both of my aunts. So she would pull their coats and tell them and to get me in check. Why is he outside so late? It's too dangerous to be outside so late. So Mrs.Delores was very positive, and she was the match to her family. And if you know her, you know she didn't play when it came to Lil Val. You know she didn't play when it came to Tosh. You know she didn't play when it came to rowdi. And you know she didn't play when it came to Willie Lamb. And Willie Lamb also don't play when it come to his family. rowdi don't play when it's come to his family. And Tasha and Val, they maintain that family structure. So big up to these three OGs, Miss Swinton, Mrs.Delores, and Miss Scenny. I will be back a week from now for part 3, where I'll get into more of the OGs, and then we'll transition into the other ladies of Wilson, views from my window.